1500 hours. The Denmark Strait. A bone-chilling screech shatters the Arctic silence as a Russian Type 53 torpedo rips through the freezing water locked onto the heart of the supercarrier USS Gerald R. At 45 knots, the pride of the American fleet has exactly 5 minutes before it becomes a titanium coffin at the bottom of the ocean. Moscow is gambling everything that this single strike will shatter American naval dominance and lock the iron door to the Atlantic forever. But as the Ford's screens bleed red and the world teeters on the edge of the abyss, a terrifying question remains: is the carrier truly defenseless, or has the Russian Northern Fleet just stepped into a high-tech slaughterhouse they can't even see? As that Russian torpedo screams through the freezing brine, you have to ask, why is a $13 billion supercarrier like the Gerald R. Ford patrolling this frozen graveyard? The answer is simple. This is the IKEA Highway. This narrow stretch of water is the primary artery for the free world, carrying everything from Swedish furniture to American Ford trucks between the two continents. If Moscow can slam the iron door of the GIUK gap shut, the global economy is strangled in a heartbeat. This isn't just a patrol, it's a mission to keep the heart of civilization beating. But there is a darker, more classified reason why Moscow is so desperate to break this gate. They believe they are sneaking into a blind spot. But the US Navy has been a ghost under this ice since the 1960s. This is the legacy of Project Iceworm, a top-secret Cold War operation where Washington carved nuclear-hardened tunnels and listening posts directly into the Greenland glaciers. We aren't just newcomers here, we own every cubic meter of this freezing abyss. Greenland isn't just an island, it is Uncle Sam's God Eye. While the Russian Northern Fleet thinks they are sneaking past a distracted sentry, they are actually performing in a digital aquarium we built decades ago. The board was solved before their engines even ignited, but as the first explosion rocks the water, the true nightmare for the US Navy is about to surface from the static. With the context set, the tactical reality of the encounter begins to take a bizarre turn. As the Type 53 torpedo closes the gap, the Arleigh Burke destroyers in the escort screen execute a textbook hard kill. They deploy Nixie acoustic lures to bend the torpedo's ears while simultaneously launching a lightweight interceptor. A massive underwater thud shakes the basin as the Russian weapon is neutralized in a cloud of bubbles and shrapnel. It is a perfect Annapolis-style defense, but as the American officers exchange a brief nod of victory, a chilling realization begins to spread through the Combat Information Center. Why was the shot so exposed? Why did the Russian destroyer reveal its position so easily? In the high-stakes game of naval chess, if your opponent makes a move this stupid, it's because he's already setting up the real execution. The bait has been taken and the digital black hole is about to swallow the fleet. 15:05 hours. As the Type 53 torpedo screams toward the carrier's hull at 45 knots, the Arleigh Burke destroyers in the escort screen execute a flawless surgical response. This is the moment where years of simulation meet the cutting edge of American kinetic technology. In a heartbeat, the USS Donald Cook deploys its Nixie acoustic decoys, digital sirens that mimic the massive turbine signature of the Ford to lead the incoming threat into the void. As the torpedo bites the bait and swerves, the destroyer launches a lightweight torpedo interceptor for the final hard kill. A massive underwater thud vibrates through the hulls of every ship in the strike group, turning the Russian weapon into a cloud of bubbles and shrapnel. It is a perfect textbook defense. But as the American crew begins to reset their sensors, a chilling realization settles in the Combat Information Center. Why was the Russian shot so exposed? Why did the Udaloy-class destroyer reveal its position so recklessly? And why is it still sitting there instead of executing a high-speed retreat? In the world of high-stakes naval chess, if your opponent makes a move this stupid, it's because he isn't the hunter, he's the worm on the hook. The US Navy didn't just save the carrier, they just stepped into a digital blackout designed to swallow them whole. The skirmish was a success, but the real nightmare is only one heartbeat away. Do you think the Russian destroyer's failure was a genuine mistake, or are we looking at the start of a much larger trap? Let us know your theories in the comments. Comment 1 if you believe in the all-powerful strength of the US Navy. 15:10 hours. The brief moment of American triumph is instantly incinerated by a move that defies all standard Russian naval doctrine. The Udaloy-class destroyer doesn't retreat. Instead, it activates an unprecedented high-power electronic warfare system, creating a literal digital black hole on the Ford's radar screens. This isn't just jamming, it is a spectral blackout. The billion-dollar Aegis god brain designed to track thousands of targets simultaneously is suddenly blind, staring at a wall of flickering white static. The Kremlin's trap has just been sprung. That first torpedo wasn't a failure, it was a diagnostic tool. By firing a legacy Type 53, Moscow forced the American escort fleet to light up their defensive radars and reveal their exact frequency signatures. Now, using that data, the Russian jammer has performed a strategic lobotomy on the Ford's situational awareness. But the real nightmare isn't the static on the screen, it's what's hiding behind it. As the American crew frantically attempts a reboot, the freezing Atlantic water just 500 yards from the Ford's hull begins to churn. Rising from a 1,500-foot deep trench that was once thought to be a sonar blind zone, the massive conning tower of a Yasen-M nuclear submarine breaks the surface. This is Russia's most lethal silent predator, equipped with Zircon hypersonic missiles, and it is now sitting within the Ford's inner security perimeter. The outer shield has been bypassed, the iceberg Ghost is at the door, and the pride of the U.S. Navy is staring down the throat of a nuclear monster that doesn't appear on any radar. The hunter didn't miss, he just waited for the lights to go out. How would you react if you were the commander of the Ford looking at a Russian nuclear sub through your own windows? Would you order a point-blank strike or hold your fire? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned because the response from the ice is about to change everything. 15 hours. Inside the Russian Yasen-M submarine, the atmosphere is electric with the scent of a historic victory. The American carrier is blind, its escort screen is paralyzed by the Udaloy's digital black hole, and the pride of the U.S. Navy is sitting defenseless in the crosshairs of a nuclear predator. Moscow believes they have just delivered the ultimate checkmate, exposing the American global shield as a paper tiger. But they made one fatal assumption: they thought the battle was only happening on the water. They forgot about the steel heart of Greenland. 200 miles to the north at Pituffik Space Base, the world's most powerful phased array radars were watching the entire theater with high-definition clarity. The Russian electronic warfare system was designed to blind a moving fleet, but it couldn't touch the deep-rooted, hardened sensors of the Thule radar net. While the Ford's screens were a blizzard of white noise, the operators in Greenland were seeing the Yasen-M's exact position with surgical precision. This is the power of the system of systems. At 15:16, a secure high-bandwidth satellite burst was beamed from Greenland directly into the hull of a Virginia-class attack submarine that had been ghosting the Russian fleet for 48 hours. We didn't need the carrier's radar, we had the eyes of the ice. Using the real-time data from Thule, the American submarine, the USS Colorado, maneuvered into the Yasen-M's acoustic shadow. Suddenly, the silence of the deep was shattered by a Chachua active ping from the Virginia-class's bow array. Ping. The sound hit the Russian hull so hard that it echoed through their command deck like a hammer hitting a bronze bell. It was a digital execution notice. Before the Russian captain could even cycle his torpedo doors, the USS Colorado had achieved a full firing solution on his reactor room and command tower. It was the ultimate ice-cold reversal. The hunters who thought they were at a bank robbery just realized the police had been sitting in their backseat the entire time. While this operation serves as a high-stakes fictional simulation of a potential Arctic standoff, the technological integration and the God-eye capability of the U.S. Navy are the absolute reality of modern warfare. Washington's message to the Kremlin was delivered without firing a single shot. "We saw you coming 60 years ago." What do you think of the Thule radar save? Is the U.S. Navy's network too powerful to be blinded? Or did the Russians almost pull off the impossible? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned because the final death stare between these two nuclear titans is about to go to a hair trigger level. At 15:20 hours, the Iron Door became the setting for a hair-trigger Mexican standoff that could have ignited World War III in a single heartbeat. The Yasen-M and the USS Colorado were locked in an underwater duel at point-blank range, their torpedo tube covers open and their furring keys primed. Above them, the USS Gerald R. Ford sat like a sovereign island of iron, unmoved and terrifyingly calm. The Russian captain realized the brutal truth: he wasn't the predator anymore. He was caught in a multi-domain trap where any move he made was already countered by the growlers in the stratosphere and the Virginia-class shadow behind his baffles. Moscow didn't bring a hunter to Greenland. they brought a sacrificial lamb to a digital execution. By 1530 hours, the tension snapped as the Kremlin ordered a humiliating climb down. The Udaloy-class destroyer killed its electronic warfare suite, and the digital black hole vanished as quickly as it appeared. The Yasen-M performed a silent, defeated dive, slipping back into the dark Atlantic trenches. The U.S. Navy didn't chase. We didn't need a massive explosion to claim a total victory. The real prize wasn't the scrap metal on the seabed. It was the petabytes of electronic signatures and jammer frequencies the U.S. Navy just harvested. While Moscow thinks they escaped, they actually just paid billions of dollars to hand over their most sensitive electronic DNA for free. At 1545 hours, the focus shifted from the tactical to the geopolitical. The Kremlin's frantic move at the Iron Door is the dying gasp of a maritime strategy being suffocated by a new reality. With the Arctic now effectively transformed into a NATO lake following the strategic inclusion of Finland and Sweden, Moscow's window of influence is slamming shut. Under Washington's renewed peace through strength mandate, Greenland has been weaponized into the ultimate high-altitude auditor. Putin knows that if he cannot prove his flagship nuclear submarines can still haunt the Atlantic, his entire second strike deterrent is nothing more than a collection of expensive underwater paperweights. By 1600 hours, as the fleet resumed its IKEA Highway patrol, the strategic message was clear. While this engagement serves as a chillingly realistic fictional simulation, a strategic stress test pulled directly from the U.S. Navy's most advanced digital twin wargaming engines, the tactical dominance displayed is the absolute truth of 21st century combat. The U.S. Navy doesn't just train with targets, we train with data. The ice-cold precision of the Thule radar net and our seamless cloud-based architecture aren't just theories, they are the invisible wall that ensures the global economy remains open while our adversaries remain trapped in 20th century logic. If Moscow had dared to fire a live warhead in this scenario, the response would have been a total strategic erasure. Within 30 seconds, our directed energy weapons would have performed a structural lobotomy on their fleet's electronics, while F-35A squadrons from the Arctic Wolves would have turned their coastal command hubs into pillars of radioactive ash. The entire Northern Fleet would have been erased from the map in under 48 hours, leaving nothing but a billion-dollar warning floating in the swells. That is the non-negotiable price of touching the Iron Door. In this era of hyper-connected warfare, the U.S. Navy has already seen your next 1,000 moves. Moscow brought the weapons of the past to a fight against the architecture of the future. We don't go looking for trouble, but we are the ones who always write the ending. In the North Atlantic, there is only one rule: don't touch the boat. What do you think of Russia's desperate attempt to break the Arctic seal? Did the U.S. Navy's data mining victory prove that traditional stealth is officially dead? Let us know in the comments below. If you believe in the power and the intelligence of the American Global Shield, hit that like button and subscribe to Navy Vector so you never miss a mission. The sensors are hot, the board is set, and we'll see you on the next deck. Go Navy!